Our coverage of Tropical Storm Ian continues. We have a live picture here out of Jacksonville, Florida, where you can see the winds are still high. Camera shaking a bit. The storm, tropical storm level right now is over Orlando, headed north throughout the end of the day. But the biggest issue is what Hurricane Ian left in its wake. This is one of the most powerful hurricanes to be recorded in U.S. history, and it hit southwest Florida at a very strong Category 4 level. Let's go straight to FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell. And thank you very much for being on. I'd like to start with the most important thing here, which is human life. And we are hearing from the Lee County Sheriff in the Fort Myers, Florida area, saying just moments ago that casualties could be in the hundreds. Can you tell us anything more about that? What do you know?
Yeah, good morning, Mika. What I know right now is Lee County was basically ground zero for the impacts that we're seeing from Hurricane Ian. And we know that we are going to have catastrophic impacts to that area. My heart goes out right now to everybody in Lee County, as well as people that are in the storm's path. And we have a few reports of some fatalities. We know from the sheriff and from some of our other reports that they expect the number to go up. We've had search and rescue teams out since 4 o'clock this morning, going through the county now, trying to determine where people are, who needs to be rescued, so we can save the most lives that we can.
Administrator Criswell, thanks for being with us this morning. Can you tell us now what happens? The sun is officially up in the state of Florida as of about 1 minute ago. What is your next move? How quickly will you be out assessing the damage?
Yeah, so our teams were working through the night as individuals calling 911 to report that they were being trapped or that they needed help being rescued. And so our teams worked with the state and local officials to assess and prioritize where the highest area of need was. And so the search and rescue teams that went out at 4 o'clock this morning, they're now going to where the local officials had said their greatest need was. I would say that what we did before the storm as well is we flew some flights to gather imagery before the storm. As soon as it's safe for them to fly, they're going to go gather post-storm imagery so we can further define where the areas of greatest impact are and get boots on the ground in the areas of greatest need. So our priority today is life safety. We want to make sure that we have as many crews out there supporting the people that still need help being rescued, and we're going to continue that throughout the day. All the while, we're still preparing for what may happen on the eastern coast of Florida today.
Ms. Criswell, in Lee County and Collier County, Florida, Fort Myers, Naples area, the sun is about to come up. Could you please, for those who still have power, who might be watching or listening, could you talk about the dangers of the day after? There are a lot of wires down, I assume, places like that. People are going to want to venture out of where they are, escape from where they are, and venture around. Could you please talk about the dangers of the morning after?
Yeah, it is so important for people to stay vigilant and still continue to listen to their local officials. We talked a lot going into the storm about the dangers of water and the dangers of storm surge and the intense rainfall that we were going to see. But this water is equally, if not as more dangerous after the storm. There is debris in this water. There's hazardous chemicals that may have been dumped into this water. There's potential of down power lines. And even if they're not down now, we don't know what's stable and what might fall down that could energize that water. People need to be extremely careful. I would say that there is no water that's safe to wade through right now. There's still a lot of violent movement in the water as well as the debris. And so people just need to take extreme caution as they are venturing outside of their home today.
Ms. Criswell, I'm curious about, you say that Lee County is ground zero for this hurricane. How wide an area is that? How populated is it? And I know we only have you for a short amount of time. What can you tell us about how hospitals are holding up in the area?
Yeah, we know that there's a few hospitals. There's 9 hospitals that we are focused on right now in Lee County. The reports that I have this morning is that Lee County's water has been disrupted, and so we're focused on a couple of things. We're supporting the state in assessing what the extent of that damage is, how quickly it can be repaired, and whether we're going to have to do additional evacuations if we can't get it repaired quickly enough. So it's a focus area, but that's just one spot, right? We know that there were impacts along the western coast. And so I don't want it to make it sound like we're just focused there. We know that there's impacts across the western coast, and we're focused on all of the areas that were in the path of this storm.
Okay, and you say there's a hospital that may need to be evacuated, or what was that specifically?
We know that there's 9 hospitals in Lee County that the state is looking at right now to determine whether or not we're going to be able to get the water restored to them, or whether or not they're going to have to be evacuated.
They have no water. Okay. And what are you hearing about casualties in other areas in Southwest Florida at this point?
I think what we're hearing through the night, not a lot yet, but I think as soon as daylight comes and the first responders continue to get out there, we're going to continue to get more information. These numbers are going to be very dynamic throughout the day today.
All right. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell, thank you very much for the update. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again.